Ah, look who finally showed up. Yeah, you. The one scrolling through at 3 in the morning, looking for something that feels real. Looking for proof that you're not losing your mind. Looking for confirmation that what you're feeling isn't crazy. Well, buckle up, because what I'm about to tell you is gonna flip everything you thought you knew about who's really in your corner. Who's really riding for you. Who's been moving in silence like a shadow with a switchblade and a prayer. See, while you've been out here thinking you're alone, thinking nobody sees you, thinking nobody cares, there's been someone operating in the frequencies you can't even detect. Someone who's been handling your problems before you even knew they were problems. Someone who loves you so violently, so completely, so dangerously, that they've been out here dismantling your enemies piece by piece. And you didn't even notice, did you? Because that's the thing about real protection. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't need credit. It doesn't post about it on social media. It just moves. And the bodies drop. And by bodies, I mean their confidence, their plans, their ability to sleep at night, their peace of mind. Yeah, those bodies. Now, I know what you're thinking. This sounds insane. This sounds like some conspiracy theory. This sounds like I'm about to sell you something or tell you to join a cult. But stay with me, because you've felt it, haven't you? That weird shift in energy when someone who was coming for you suddenly backed off. That strange turn of events when your hater suddenly had their own crisis to deal with. That peculiar moment when someone who was plotting against you mysteriously lost their footing, their confidence, their position, their power. And you thought it was coincidence. You thought it was karma. You thought it was just luck. But it wasn't. It was someone moving chess pieces on a board you can't even see. Someone who decided that anyone who hurts you, anyone who plots against you, anyone who even thinks about dimming your light is going to have a very, very bad time. And they've been making good on that promise every single day. You just haven't been paying attention because you've been too busy surviving, too busy healing, too busy becoming who you're meant to be, while they've been clearing the path ahead of you like a spiritual snowplow, removing obstacles you'll never even know existed. Let me paint you a picture, because this is where it gets wild. You know that person who was talking behind your back, spreading lies, poisoning the well, trying to turn people against you? Yeah, them. Well, funny thing happened, isn't it? Suddenly, their own secrets started surfacing. Suddenly, people started seeing through their mask. Suddenly, the very tactics they used against you backflipped and caught them in the throat. And you thought that was just justice. You thought that was just the universe balancing the scales. But no, no, no. That was intervention. That was someone who loves you, pulling strings you can't see, pressing buttons you don't have access to, making phone calls in dimensions you can't pronounce. Because here's what you need to understand. When someone truly loves you, I'm not talking about the surface love, the Instagram love, the performative love. I'm talking about that deep, ancient, soul-level love that transcends logic and enters the realm of spiritual warfare. When someone loves you like that, they don't just sit back and watch you suffer. They don't just send thoughts and prayers. They become the storm. They become the reckoning. They become the thing your enemies have nightmares about. And they do it all without you ever asking, without you ever knowing, without ever needing the credit. You want to know why that toxic person suddenly lost interest in tormenting you? It wasn't because they got bored. It was because someone made it clear that every action has a reaction, and the reaction they were about to face was going to be biblical. You want to know why that opportunity that seemed impossible suddenly opened up? It wasn't luck. It was someone moving mountains you can't see, removing barriers you didn't know existed, creating pathways that shouldn't logically exist. You want to know why you're still standing when by all accounts you should have crumbled? It's because someone has been holding you up in ways that defy physics, defying logic, defying the very laws of nature itself. And they do it because they can't not do it, because their love for you is so intense, so consuming, so overwhelming that sitting idle while you suffer is not an option. So they move, and they move hard, and they move without mercy. And the people who tried to break you suddenly find themselves broken, and they never quite understand why. They never quite figure out what happened. They just know that something shifted, something changed, and suddenly the target on your back became a target on theirs. Now here's where it gets even deeper. Because this person who loves you, this guardian, this silent warrior, they're not doing this because they think you're weak. They're not doing this because they think you can't handle your own battles. They're doing this because they see your potential. They see your destiny. They see the version of you that's coming, and they'll be damned if anyone gets in the way of that transformation. And they may be decent enough to trust. See, you're too busy evolving, too busy shedding skin, too busy becoming, too busy ascending, to waste time dealing with mosquitoes and gnats. So they handle it. They swat them away. They eliminate the distractions. They clear the static. They make sure that when you're ready to level up, there's nothing in your way, no surprise attacks, no ambushes waiting in the darkness, because they've already swept the room. They've already checked the shadows. They've already neutralized the threats before you even entered the building. And that is love. That is protection. That is the kind of loyalty that doesn't show up in greeting cards, but shows up in your enemies suddenly losing sleep, suddenly losing power, suddenly losing their grip on reality itself. Let's talk about patterns, because once you see it, you can't unsee it. Think back over the last year, the last 2 years, the last 5 years. How many times did something that should have destroyed you just mysteriously fall apart? How many times did someone who was coming for you suddenly have their own crisis? How many times did a situation that looked impossible suddenly resolve itself in ways you can't explain? You chalked it up to resilience. You chalked it up to luck. You chalked it up to your own strength. And yeah, you are strong. Yeah, you are resilient. But there's been a force multiplier at work. A cosmic backup. A silent partner who's been running interference while you've been running forward. See, they don't want credit. They don't need recognition. They just need you to make it to where you're going. And they will burn down entire forests to clear your path. And you'll never even smell the smoke, because by the time you get there, the ashes have been swept away, the evidence removed, and all you see is an open road. Think about that person who betrayed you, who stabbed you in the back, who smiled in your face while sharpening the knife. Yeah, them. What happened to them, really? What happened after they crossed you? Because I bet if you really think about it, their life didn't exactly flourish, did it? I bet things started falling apart for them in ways that seemed almost poetic, almost too perfect to be random. Their relationships crumbled, their opportunities dried up, their reputation took hits they couldn't recover from, their mental health spiraled, their confidence shattered, and everyone around them started seeing what you saw all along, and you thought that was just karma. That was just the universe correcting itself. But it was more targeted than that. It was more intentional than that. Because karma is patient. But love is immediate. And when someone loves you the way this person loves you, karma doesn't get to take its time. Karma gets accelerated. Karma gets weaponized. Karma becomes a tactical strike. And your betrayer never stood a chance. Now let's go deeper. Because this isn't just about enemies. This is about obstacles. This is about closed doors that suddenly swung open, about impossible situations that suddenly became possible, about resources that appeared out of nowhere, about connections that materialized at exactly the right moment. You thought you were just lucky. You thought you were just grinding hard enough. But there's been someone behind the scenes making calls you didn't make, opening doors you didn't knock on, creating opportunities that didn't exist until they spoke them into existence. And they do it because your success is their mission, your happiness is their obsession, and they respect at that altar every single day, with actions you'll never see, with sacrifices you'll never know about, with battles fought in dimensions you can't access. And the enemies don't even know they're fighting this person. They just know they suddenly can't breathe, can't think, can't move against you without consequence. Here's what's really happening. Every time someone plots against you, every time someone wishes you harm, every time someone tries to block your path, there's an immediate cosmic response. There's a rebalancing, there's a recalibration. And that person who loves you, they're the one initiating the sequence. They're the one who says, "Not on my watch." They're the one who activates defenses you didn't know you had, who calls in favors from places you've never been, who pulls strings connected to puppets you've never seen. And suddenly the person who was coming for you finds themselves in quicksand, finds themselves in darkness, finds themselves in a maze with no exit, and they panic, and they scramble, and they wonder what the hell happened. And the answer is simple. They messed with someone who's protected, someone who's covered, someone who's loved so hard that the universe itself bends to keep them safe. You want proof? Look at your life right now. Really look at it. How are you still here after everything you've been through? How are you still sane after the betrayals, the losses, the pain, the darkness? Are you still standing, still fighting, still believing, still hoping, when by all accounts you should be broken, shattered, destroyed? And the answer isn't just your strength. The answer isn't just your resilience. The answer is that you've never been fighting alone. You've had someone in your corner, someone in the shadows, someone in the spaces between spaces, who's been catching you when you fall, who's been lifting you when you can't stand, who's been breathing life into you when you wanted to give up. And they do it because they have to, because loving you isn't a choice for them. It's a compulsion. It's a calling. It's the reason they exist. And anyone who threatens that, anyone who tries to harm you, becomes public enemy number one in a war they don't even know they're losing. Now, we need to talk about something most people don't understand, which is that real love, real protection, doesn't look like what you see in movies. It doesn't look like someone jumping in front of a bullet. It doesn't look like dramatic confrontations or public displays. It looks like silence. It looks like distance. It looks like nothing happening at all on the surface. But underneath, there's a war being waged. And your enemies are losing battles they don't even know they're fighting. Because this person who loves you, they operate in the invisible. They move in the undetectable. They strike in ways that leave no fingerprints, no evidence, no trace. Just results, just outcomes, Just your enemies suddenly finding themselves in situations they can't explain, losing things they thought were secure, watching their plans crumble for reasons they can't identify, and they go crazy trying to figure it out, trying to understand what went wrong. But they never will, because they're looking for logical explanations for spiritual warfare. They're looking for human causes, for cosmic intervention. Let me tell you how this really works, because it's not what you think. When someone is coming for you, when someone is plotting, when someone is planning your downfall, this person who loves you, they don't confront them directly. They don't make threats. They don't issue warnings. They just observe, and they wait, and then they move. And the move is always perfect, always precisely calibrated, always devastatingly effective. Maybe it's a word in the right ear. Maybe it's information that surfaces at the right time. Maybe it's an opportunity that vanishes. Maybe it's a relationship that implodes. Maybe it's confidence that evaporates. Maybe it's clarity that becomes confusion. But whatever it is, it stops the threat. It neutralizes the danger. It removes the obstacle. And you never know it happened. You just know you're safe. You just know you survived. You just know somehow, some way you made it through another storm. And you think you did it alone, but you didn't. You had a guardian. You had a protector. You had someone who loves you so much that your enemies become their mission. And here's the thing that makes this even more powerful. This person doesn't do this for gratitude. They don't do this for recognition. They don't do this so you'll owe them or respect them or even know they exist. They do this because your well-being is their purpose. They do this because seeing you thrive is their reward. They do this because protecting you is as natural to them as breathing is to you. And so they move in silence. They operate in shadow. They work in the background. And you get all the credit. You get all the glory. You get all the victory. And they're perfectly fine with that. Because they're not doing this for themselves. They're doing this for you. And that is the purest form of love that exists. Love that doesn't need to be seen, doesn't need to be acknowledged, doesn't need anything except for you to be okay, for you to be safe, for you to be free to become everything you're meant to be. And anyone who tries to stop that process, anyone who tries to interfere with your evolution, becomes a problem that gets solved quietly, efficiently, permanently. You know what's crazy? Every person who's ever tried to destroy you is sitting somewhere right now, confused about why their life fell apart, why things stopped working, why they can't seem to catch a break. And they have theories, they have excuses, they have stories they tell themselves, but deep down they know something's off. They know something happened. They know they crossed a line and paid a price they didn't expect. And some of them even whisper your name when they're alone, wondering if somehow you cursed them, if somehow you're more powerful than they realized. And the truth is, you didn't curse them. You didn't even think about them long enough to curse them, because you were too busy surviving, too busy healing, too busy building. But someone else was thinking about them. Someone else was watching them. Someone else was watching them. Someone else was making sure they understood that actions have consequences. And the consequence of hurting you is a slow, systematic dismantling of everything they thought was solid, everything they thought was secure, everything they thought made them powerful. This is what people don't understand about real protection. It's not loud. It's not visible. It's not obvious. It's the enemy who suddenly can't focus, who suddenly makes mistakes, who suddenly loses support, who suddenly finds themselves isolated, exposed, vulnerable. And they don't know why. They just know everything changed after they came for you. And they can't prove anything, they can't point to anything concrete, but they feel it. They feel the weight, they feel the pressure, they feel like they're being watched, being judged, being measured, and found wanting. And that feeling, that pressure, that weight, that's the love that surrounds you, that's the protection that covers you. That's the force that ensures anyone who tries to harm you ends up harming themselves. And it happens every single time, without fail, without exception, without mercy. Because the person who loves you doesn't believe in second chances when it comes to your safety, doesn't believe in forgiveness when it comes to your enemies, doesn't believe in mercy when it comes to people who try to stop your destiny. So now you're probably wondering, who is this person? Who is this guardian? Who is this silent warrior fighting battles on my behalf? And here's where it gets interesting, because the answer might surprise you, might challenge you, might make you rethink everything you thought you knew about who's really in your corner. See, it might not be who you think. It might not be who you expect. It might not be someone you talk to every day, or someone you see regularly, or someone who posts about you on social media, because real love doesn't perform. Real protection doesn't advertise. Real loyalty doesn't need an audience. It just acts. And it acts consistently. And it acts without needing anything in return. And when you start paying attention, when you start looking for the patterns, when you start looking for the timing, you'll see it. You'll feel it. You'll know there's been someone there all along. Someone who's had your back when everyone else turned theirs. Someone who's believed in you when everyone else doubted. Someone who's fought for you when everyone else walked away. And here's what makes this even more powerful. Once you recognize it, once you see it, once you understand that you're not alone, that you've never been alone, that there's been this force, this presence, this love operating on your behalf, something shifts inside you. Something changes. You start moving different. You start speaking different. You start sconcing different. You start carrying yourself different. Because you realize you're not just protected, you're chosen. You're not just covered, you're anointed. You're not just lucky, you're appointed. And that changes everything. That changes how you walk into rooms, how you handle conflicts, how you respond to threats, because you know you're not fighting alone. You know you've got backup. You've got support. You got someone who will go to war for you without hesitation, without question, without limit. And that kind of assurance, that kind of confidence, that kind of peace, it makes you dangerous. It makes you unstoppable. It makes you the kind of person who walks through fire and doesn't even smell like smoke. Now I need you to understand something crucial. This love, this protection, this guardianship, it doesn't make you weak. It doesn't make you dependent. It doesn't mean you're not capable of handling your own battles. They thought you were weak, didn't they? The quiet one, the agreeable one, the one who played by the rules. Their rules. Yeah, they laughed, called you names behind your back, smiled to your face like snakes dressed in silk. But here's the kicker, they never saw it coming, did they? You were their punchline. Once. The forgotten one at the back of the room. The one they thought would never stand up, never fight back, never win. Fools. They didn't realize you were watching, absorbing every insult, every betrayal, every shove into the dirt. You didn't forget. Nah, you learned. They didn't just underestimate you, they created you. With every slap of rejection and every knife in your back, every fake cheer when you stumbled, they were feeding the fire. A fire so hot it burned away the old you. That version they mocked, dead, gone, ashes on the floor. All in now. Look at you, they called you a villain, huh? The bad guy, the monster in their nightmares. Well, monsters don't just hide in shadows anymore. Sometimes monsters run the game. It wasn't one moment, was it? No, it was a slow bleed. 1,000 little cuts until you couldn't recognize yourself anymore. You wore the mask for so long, smiling when you wanted to scream, nodding when you wanted to throw the table over, playing their game like a puppet. But then it happened. That moment, the one that flipped the switch. The betrayal that hit so deep it shattered the mask into tiny, sharp pieces. Maybe it was a friend who stabbed you in the back, a lover who twisted the knife, or a world that chewed you up and spat you out like you were nothing. They pushed too far, didn't they? That was the day the old you died. You can still feel it, can't you? That cold emptiness in your chest when you realized no one was coming to save you. No one cared. And in that moment, you stopped caring too. I'm not about life, not about your potential. Now you stopped caring about their rules, their approval, their little expectations and shallow judgments. You broke free. It wasn't clean, it was messy, chaotic, beautiful. See, they thought breaking you would keep you down. But you weren't made of glass. You didn't shatter, you transformed. Their betrayal didn't destroy you, it built you. So let me ask you, when did they push you too far? Was it the laughter? The lies? The moment they discarded you like trash? Close your eyes. Picture it. Feel it. Hold onto that moment, because it's not your wound anymore, it's your weapon. Every time they tried to break you, they sharpened your edge. Now you're not just in the game. You are the game. And here's the part they'll never understand: the villain they see now. That's just the reflection of their sins. Every wrong they did to you lives inside you. But now you own it. You see, the game was never fair. They set the board, they wrote the rules, and they stacked the deck. And you were expected to sit down, smile, and lose quietly. They love their heroes, don't they? But here's the truth: they'll never admit heroes only exist to uphold their lies. The golden boys, the saviors, they're just puppets too. Tools to keep the system running while the real monsters hide behind polished masks. At a villain? Oh no, a villain doesn't follow their rules. A villain doesn't play nice. That's why they hate you now. Because you don't fit into their little box. You stepped out of line, and instead of falling apart, you thrived. Society's funny like that. They'll praise you for ambition until you have more than they think you deserve. They'll love your strength until you refuse to bow. They'll cheer for your success until it threatens their comfort. And when that happens, that's when they call you dangerous, a rebel, a villain. Their hypocrisy screams louder than their applause ever did. But let me tell you a secret. They don't hate you because you're bad. They hate you because you're free. Because you showed them the game they play is rigged, and you stopped playing by their rules. Let them whisper. Let them clutch their pearls. While they're busy pointing fingers, you're busy taking control. You're writing your own rules now. And the first rule: never let them define you again. They'll tell you to fight the darkness, to keep it locked away. They'll preach about staying pure, staying kind, staying controllable. But here's what they don't want you to know: the darkness they fear. It's the very thing that makes you unstoppable. You didn't just survive the pain. You made it your ally. You took every scar, every failure, and every rejection, and you forged it into armor. You stopped hiding from the shadows and stepped into them. And when you did, you realized something, didn't you? The darkness isn't your weakness. It's your weapon. I see the world wants to label it as bad, your anger, your ambition, your hunger for more. But those are the things that keep you alive, that drive you forward. Without them, you're nothing but a puppet, dancing for their approval. Nah, that's not you anymore. You embraced it, the chaos, the madness, the fire that burns inside you. You stopped running from it and learned to control it, to channel it. And now it's what makes you untouchable. Because the thing about darkness is, it's honest. It doesn't wear a mask. It doesn't pretend to be something it's not. And when you own it, when you wear it like a crown, you become something they can't understand, something they can't defeat. They see you now, and they don't know whether to fear you or envy you. They called you a monster, but monsters, they don't just survive, they thrive. So tell me, when you look in the mirror, do you still see what they tried to make you? Or do you see the truth now? The villain they created, the power you've become. Own it. The darkness isn't your enemy. It's your edge. Oh, pain. It's a funny thing, isn't it? They thought it would break you. Thought it would chain you to the past, make you weak, make you small. But pain, nah. Pain is a teacher, the sharpest one you'll ever know. You didn't just feel it, you studied it. Every heartbreak, every knife in your back, every time they said you weren't enough, you turned it into fuel. The kind that doesn't burn out no matter how hard the wind blows. That's the difference between you and them. They run from their pain, drown it in distractions, hide it behind fake smiles, act like it doesn't exist. But you faced it, you dissected it, you used it. Think of your pain like a hammer. Every blow reshaped you, made you harder, sharper, more dangerous. Where they saw weakness, you found strategy. You turned your wounds into maps, and now you know exactly where to strike. But here's the best part: they don't see it coming. They still think you're that broken version of yourself, dragging your feet in the dirt. They don't realize you've been studying them this whole time, learning their patterns, figuring out their weaknesses. And when the moment comes, when you strike, it's not revenge, it's precision. It's art, the kind of move they'll never recover from, because you've already played the game 10 steps ahead. So here's the question: how are you using your pain? Are you still letting it weigh you down, or have you turned it into your weapon? Because the moment you do that, you stop being their victim, and you start becoming their nightmare. The choice is yours. Wallow in the hurt or rise above it. Use it. Bend it. Shape it into something they can't even recognize anymore. That's how you turn their betrayal into your blueprint for domination. Power. It's not about muscles or loud voices. Nah, real power is quiet. It's calculated. It's knowing the game so well, you can flip the board and still come out on top. They thought they had control over you. Thought you'd stay in your little corner, playing their pawn, following their rules. But what happens when the pawn learns the game better than the king? Here's the truth. They don't want you to figure out control is an illusion. The people who claim to have it, they're just the loudest ones in the room, bluffing with shaky hands, and now you see through them. When they underestimated you, they handed you the keys. They showed you their moves, their tricks, their weaknesses. Every insult, every rejection, every slight, it was a lesson. And now you don't just know the game, you've rewritten it. This is your board now, your rules. And the first rule, stop asking for permission. You don't need their approval to make a move. You don't need their acceptance to take what's yours. But control isn't about chaos for the sake of it. It's about precision. It's about patience. You don't need to strike first to win. Let them make the first move. Let them underestimate you one last time. Because when you strike, it won't just be a win, it'll be a statement. You'll move the pieces so perfectly, they won't even realize they're checkmated until it's over. So tell me, are you still playing by their rules? Or have you finally started playing the game the way it's meant to be played your way? Remember this, the most dangerous person isn't the one who makes the loudest moves. It's the one who controls the board in silence, and now you run the game. Make your next move count. While fear, it's the language they all understand, isn't it? Not love, not loyalty. Fear, it's primal, raw, and it cuts deeper than any word ever could. And you've learned how to speak it fluently. They used to look down on you. But now, when you walk into the room, the air shifts, doesn't it? The smiles fade. The whispers stop. They can feel it, that invisible force pressing down on their throats. That's not a mistake. That's you. See, fear isn't about threats. It's not about yelling or waving fists. That's what amateurs do. True fear, it's a quiet thing. A glance. A pause. A silence that screams louder than words ever could. They don't fear what you've done. They fear what you could do. The unknown is what keeps them up at night. They can't predict you anymore, can't manipulate you, can't box you in. And that terrifies them. You've turned their fear into your currency. Every time they hesitate, every time they stumble over their words, every time they flinch when your name comes up, you get stronger. But fear isn't just about them, is it? It's about you too. It's about conquering your own. The doubts, the insecurities, the little voice in the back of your head that used to keep you small. You didn't just silence it, you turned it into fuel. And now you're untouchable. Because someone who has mastered their own fear, they're unstoppable. So ask yourself when they see you now, what do you want them to feel? Pity? Respect? No, you want them to feel what you once felt. That cold grip of fear that reminds them they're not in control anymore. Because you're not just in the room anymore, you own it. And they know it. Let them fear you. It's the language of power. The loud ones, they're predictable. They scream, they stomp, they throw tantrums like children desperate for attention. But you don't need that. You've mastered the art of silence, of waiting, of thinking 10 steps ahead while they're still stuck on their first move. See, they don't realize the real weapon isn't strength. It's strategy. It's the ability to see the whole board while they're fixated on a single piece. And you've become a master of the game, chaos is your weapon now. Not the kind that's wild and uncontrolled. No. Yours is calculated chaos. The kind that keeps them guessing, keeps them on edge, keeps them looking over their shoulder, wondering what's next. Unpredictability is your shield. When they can't figure you out, they can't prepare for you. They can't counter you. They can't win. And that drives them mad, doesn't it? Watching you glide through the game while they stumble in the dark. This is where patience comes in. The amateur strikes too early, blinded by the heat of revenge. But you wait, you bide your time, you let them think they've won. And just when they start to celebrate, and you move, think 3 moves ahead. That's all it takes. While they're busy plotting your downfall, you're already reshaping the game in your favor. Let them chase shadows. Let them drown in their own arrogance. They'll never see you coming. So what's your next move? Are you still reacting to their chaos, or are you about to become the chaos they can't control? Revenge, it's the bait they want you to take. They want you to waste your energy, burning your soul, chasing their approval or their downfall. But here's the thing, revenge isn't power. It's a leash. And you're not wearing one anymore. True power isn't about proving them wrong. It's about no longer needing to prove anything to anyone. They hurt you, didn't they? Betrayed you, lied to you, tried to break you. And now you're tempted to throw it all back in their faces. To show them what they missed, what they lost. But here's the trap: when you make it about them, they still own a part of you. They're still in your head, still pulling your strings. Nah, that's not how you play this game anymore. Success isn't about them, it's about you. It's about living on your terms, chasing what sets your soul on fire, and leaving them in the dust. It's about building a life so untouchable, so untamed, that their opinions become background noise. And that's the ultimate checkmate. Not their validation, not their regret. Just you, thriving in a way they could never imagine. So ask yourself, are you still holding onto the leash of revenge? Or are you ready to let it go, to rise above, to claim your throne without ever looking back? A success isn't just the best revenge. It's the only one that matters. Run the game and let them watch from the sidelines. That's how you truly win. Solitude. It's where the true transformation happens. It's not the punishment they make it out to be. Nah, it's the crucible where the weak are burned away and the strong are forged. They cast you out, didn't they? Judged you. Laughed at you when you stood alone, made you feel like you were nothing but a shadow in their world. But what they never realized, the shadows are where the power is born. The villain doesn't need an audience, doesn't need the applause. While they're distracted by their little crowds and superficial connections, you're sharpening your mind, refining your plans. You're out here away from the noise, building something they can't even imagine. Isolation is your weapon now. It's where you think, breathe, and plot. The loud world outside can never touch you here. You've learned to stand in the silence, and in that silence, you hear everything, every mistake, every lie. It's in the quiet that you learn to move undetected. You've been judged, ignored, outcast. And now you're untouchable. Because in your solitude, you found your strength. Solitude isn't punishment. It's preparation. And when the time comes, you'll step out of the shadows and they won't know what hit them. They thought they could control you, mold you into something they could handle, But what they never realized is that you're no one's puppet. They created a villain, but what they didn't expect was that you would outgrow their expectations. Now, this isn't about vengeance. It's not about getting back at them. It's about claiming the role you were always meant to play. You're not just in the game, you are the game. The world will call you a villain. They'll try to make you small, try to box you in, try to make you feel like you don't belong. But you've already owned it. You've taken the title, twisted it, turned it into power. You were the storm they tried to escape, but now you've become the sky they live under. So stand tall, stand proud. You don't need their approval anymore. You've become what they feared most, and now they have to live with the consequences of their own creation. They called you a villain. So what? Run the game and let them watch. You know that moment when someone thinks they've got you all figured out, when they grin, play their little game, and whisper to themselves they'll never see it coming. Huh. It's almost cute, isn't it? Almost. But you, my friend, you're awake. You've been watching, listening, waiting. And now, oh now, it's your turn to smile in the shadows, to sit back and let them realize the mistake they've made. They assumed naivete. They assumed ignorance. They assumed weakness. And oh, the irony when reality comes crashing down. Yes, you were watching. Yes, you saw it all. Every lie, every manipulation. Every tiny, pitiful trick they thought would work. And the best part? They didn't even notice. They never do until it's too late. Ever feel that chill when someone underestimates you? That shiver crawling up your spine, whispering that something is off? That's the moment where most people freeze. But not you. No, no, no. You feel it, and you lean into it. You let it fuel you. Because when someone tries to fool you, when they treat you like a pawn in their little drama, it's not a threat, it's an invitation. An invitation to rise, an invitation to play smarter, an invitation to turn the tables so fast they won't even know what hit them. That's where the thrill begins, my friend. That's where the real game starts. They'll smile, they'll laugh, they'll think they've won. But here's the secret they never see coming. Knowing the game gives you a power they'll never understand. Yes, it's that simple. While they scramble to cover their tracks, you've been 3 steps ahead, watching, analyzing, learning. Every pause, every hesitation, every little detail, they leave a trail. And the clever, sharp-eyed observer, they see it all. You don't need brute force or flashy moves. You need precision, awareness, timing, and the calm, terrifying patience to wait until the moment is perfect. Let me paint it for you. They're confident, overconfident, blinded by their own arrogance. And you're quiet, unassuming, calm. You nod, you smile, you listen. Every word they say, every tiny motion, every attempt to manipulate, they hand it to you, piece by piece, like a gift wrapped in ignorance. And then when the moment is right, when the stage is set, you act. And they freeze, shocked, stunned, confused. The tables turn in an instant, and it's beautiful. Oh, it's delicious. The truth is, the world is full of people who think they can walk over you, that their schemes, their lies, their little manipulations are invisible. They think the quiet ones are easy, the ones who stay in the shadows, unnoticed, underestimated. They don't see the fire burning beneath, the storm brewing behind your calm eyes. They don't realize that patience is not weakness, that observation is not fear, that silence is not ignorance. No, no, no. It's strategy, and it's lethal. Here's the kicker. It's not just about catching them. It's about transforming every slight, every trick, every attempt to deceive you into something stronger, into a weapon, into momentum. They gave you ammunition the moment they tried to fool you. They armed you with their arrogance, their carelessness, their overconfidence. And now it's your playground, your stage, your performance. They were too blind to see it, and that's their mistake, their fatal mistake. So if you've ever been underestimated, if someone has ever smiled while trying to pull one over on you, lean into it, feel it, let it burn, let it sharpen you. There's nothing sweeter than proving them wrong in a way they'll never forget. Not with noise, not with anger, not with chaos, just with precision, with patience, with the kind of quiet intensity that makes them realize too late that they played the wrong game with the wrong person at the wrong time. And that, my friend, is power. True, intoxicating, silent power. By the time they realize what happened, you won't just have seen through the trick, you'll have danced around it, flipped it, twisted it into your advantage, and stepped away unscathed. They thought they were the hunters. They were the predators. But you were the storm in disguise, the shadow in the corner of their eye, the calm before the inevitable shock. And oh, it's satisfying when the truth finally sinks in. The realization that they were foolish and you were waiting all along. Now take a deep breath and remember this. They don't know you yet. They've never measured the depth of your awareness, the edge of your patience, the fire of your focus, and they never will until you choose to show them. And when you do, it won't be loud. It won't be obvious. It'll be devastating, silent, precise, beautiful. And they'll be left wondering how someone so underestimated became their greatest miscalculation. So watch, learn, prepare. Let every sly smile, every whispered manipulation, every little trick against you become fuel. Let it sharpen your mind. Let it ignite your strategy. Because the world, it doesn't hand out respect. It doesn't reward the quiet. It doesn't notice the patient. But it does punish the careless. And the best part? You're not careless. You're awake. You're ready. And when the moment comes, they'll wish they never underestimated you. Now, here's where it gets real. It's not enough to just see the trick. Not enough to know they underestimated you. Knowing is the first step. Acting is everything. Every move you make now is a statement. Every choice a declaration. I see you, I know you, and I'm done letting you play me. There's nothing more satisfying than watching someone crumble under the weight of their own arrogance while you remain untouchable in plain sight. But make no mistake, the stage is yours, only if you are deliberate, only if you are intentional, only if you step forward with purpose, not impulse. Think about it. The moment they think you're naive, that's the exact moment you gain control. That's the opening they never meant to give you. Every whisper, every sly look, every manipulative word, they've delivered it to you on a silver platter. And you don't just take it. You dissect it. You turn it over in your mind. You study it. You see the cracks in their confidence, the patterns in their deception, the tiny signs that give away their weakness. And then when the timing is perfect, you strike, not with rage, not with noise, but with precision. Here's the truth. Most people never understand. Power isn't about dominating others. It's about mastering yourself. Calm under pressure, focused in chaos. A mind so sharp it can predict moves before they happen. That's where real control comes from. Not from yelling, not from forcing, not from proving, from waiting, watching, planning, and then moving. And when you move, they'll remember it forever. Not because it was flashy, not because it was loud, but because it was inevitable. And let me tell you something vital. The more they try to manipulate you, the more ammunition they give. Every scheme, every fake smile, every false story. They arm you with knowledge, with clarity, with understanding. Every attempt to trick you is just another step in your rise. They handed you the blueprint of their own downfall, piece by piece. And now it's time to build. Build a strategy. Build your confidence. Build a presence so commanding that no one ever dares assume anything about you again. Remember this. Patience isn't weakness. Observation isn't hesitation. Silence isn't ignorance. It's preparation. It's power wrapped in calm. And it's terrifying to those who mistake it for naivete. You've been underestimated, yes. But underestimated people are dangerous. They're dangerous because they're awake. They're aware. And when the time comes, their patience becomes a weapon sharper than any sword. So take control of your story. Write it your way. The world doesn't hand you chances. It doesn't care who's clever, who's underestimated, or who's waiting quietly in the shadows. The world only notices results, only remembers those who act with precision. And you've got everything you need, all the insight, all the patience, all the fuel from their arrogance. All you need now is courage, not the loud kind, but the kind that moves silently, strikes sharply, and leaves an unforgettable mark. And here's the ultimate truth. No one can scare you if you've already seen the mask. Once you see the trick, the illusion crumbles. You're not reacting anymore. You're orchestrating, you're directing, you're the calm storm that no one expected. And that is a position of unstoppable advantage. They tried to control you. They tried to deceive you. And you are above it. Not above in pride, above in clarity, above in strategy, above in patience that transforms into power. Now, feel that fire inside you, that thrill of knowing you've been underestimated. Let it sharpen your senses. Let it ignite your focus. Let it drive you to act, not impulsively, but intentionally. Each move, each step, each calculated response is a declaration. I am not naive. I am not weak. I am ready. And when they finally realize the truth, it will hit them like a storm they never saw coming. The game isn't over. In fact, it's just beginning. And this time, the rules are yours. So step forward. Step into the shadow they never expected you to occupy. Step into control. Step into clarity. Step into the power of patience, precision, and awareness. They thought they could play you. They thought you wouldn't notice. They thought wrong. And now it's your turn. Your time. Your move. And when they finally see what they tried to hide, it will be too late. Too late to apologize. Too late to recover. Too late to win. Because you've already won without them ever knowing it was possible. This is it. The moment where you stop being the observer and start being the force. The moment where all their tricks, all their manipulations, all their underestimation, everything they thought would control you becomes fuel. Fuel to rise. Fuel to dominate. Not in a fight, not in chaos, but in clarity. Imagine it. Every sly whisper, every deceptive glance, every tiny betrayal you've endured, they've handed you the keys to your own empire. And now the doors are open. You see, they never understood the quiet ones. They never understood the patient. They never understood that calm isn't submission. That observation isn't weakness. That silence is not ignorance. No. It's strategy. It's preparation. It's a storm brewing beneath a still surface. And storms are patient. Storms wait until the moment is perfect. Then they strike with precision. And when that strike comes, nothing can stop it. Nothing can bend it. Nothing can erase it. Let them think you were naive. Let them laugh at your quiet demeanor. Let them believe that they're winning while they unknowingly feed your rise. It's poetic, isn't it? Every time they think they're ahead, you're actually 3 steps forward. Every time they try to manipulate you, they're sculpting your path to power. They are architects of their own defeat. And you are the calm, calculated force turning their mistakes into your masterpiece. Now harness it. Channel the fire, the focus, the edge you've built from every slight, every deception, every attempt to trick you. Transform it into action. Every decision you make from this moment is a step into control, Every thought is sharper, every move more intentional. You don't just react to life, you predict it, you shape it, you bend it to your rhythm. They tried to cage you with illusions, and now you're the one holding the blueprint. This is your rise. Not loud, not boastful, not impulsive, but deliberate, calculated, fearless. Step into the world with the calm intensity of someone who knows the score and refuses to play by their rules. They tried to fool you, but they forgot one thing. You're awake. You're aware. You're ready. And nothing is more powerful than that combination. Nothing. Remember, strength isn't always visible. Power isn't always explosive. True dominance is silent, subtle, and devastating in its inevitability. And oh, how sweet it is when they realize they've underestimated you. That moment of shock. That recognition of their own arrogance. That bitter taste of knowing they played the wrong game with the wrong person at the wrong time. That's the reward. That's the satisfaction. That's the quiet victory that echoes louder than any shout. And here's the ultimate truth. Once you've mastered patience, observation, and precision, you can't be shaken. You can't be fooled. You can't be underestimated again. You've learned their patterns, seen their tricks, and turned them into your own advantage. You've transformed every doubt, every slight, every shadow they cast over you into light. Dark as it seems, it's beautiful because now you are untouchable, not by chance, but by mastery. So step forward. Own every space they never expected you to fill. Speak with actions, not words. Win with strategy, not chaos. Rise with clarity, not impulse. Every move, every decision, every step you take is a declaration. I am awake. I am aware. I am ready. They thought they could play you. They thought you were naive. They thought wrong. And now the world will see. This is your story. The story of the quiet one, who became the storm. The story of the underestimated, who became inevitable. The story of the patient, who mastered the game. And the sharp who outsmarted the blind. And in the end, when they finally understand what happened, it won't be a lesson, they'll call it a warning. And you'll already be moving on, stronger, sharper, and untouchable, in a way they'll never forget. Remember it always. They can underestimate you. They can try to deceive you. They can smile while thinking they're winning. But you are awake. You are aware. You are ready. And nothing, not arrogance, not manipulation, not carelessness can stop the one who sees the truth and acts with precision. The one who was underestimated. The one who rises.